For this video, I wanted to share with you about Japanese watercolors. And this is a set by Yasutomo that was actually my mother's set. And this is what the Japanese watercolors look like. So this is very old, but you can see that these watercolors come in little pans like this. You get a lot of watercolor in it, and the reason that the pans are so large is so that you could take your larger Chinese brushes or Japanese brushes and easily pick up the paint because these brushes are larger. Now, usually inside the lid, there's a place for you to put the colors that match the way the colors come in your set so that you can see what they are. Now, this is an older set, and it's all in Japanese and Chinese here. So for instance, Gofun is white right there. And I just know that Gofun is white because I grew up in Asia. But some of these other colors, you're not going to see in this set the American translation. This is ultramarine blue, but it doesn't say that, does it? All right. So this set, I've made my own little card with the colors there for myself, but that was a set that I got from my mother. Now this set I just received last week while I've been homesick. A very dear friend of mine purchased it for me, and it is also a Japanese watercolor. This is the Kuretake, is the name of the company, Kuretake. And it's the Gansai Tambi. Gansai Tambi, that's the style. Gansai is the style. And it is the Art Nouveau set of 24. I just swatched these and did a review on my website. So when you go to my website, which is deetsart.com, and it will be linked in the description of the video, you will see these paints here, where I did all of the swatches of them and then gave my opinion about the colors and how to work with the colors and what happens when you add a lot of water to the colors. But I was so excited from that, so excited from using it, that I went ahead and I went to St. Louis Art Supply. And again, I will link them in the description in the video below. They allow you to purchase the individual ones of these colors. So for instance, if one of these colors I use, let's say I used all of this ecru beige, well then I can take just the ecru beige and purchase just this one, which is fantastic. So don't be afraid to dive in, use your colors, and then if you find you have a favorite color that you run out of, you can easily reorder it. Now, these, the new ones, not the old set like this one, but the new ones have on them the color number and the name in English. So now you'll be able to easily, if they get out of order or you pull them out of here, it's very easy to figure out which slot they go back into. Because even when I pulled this out, for instance, I know this is vermilion, but when I pulled this out, they have still left right here the name and the numbers, so I know that that goes back into the slot. Thank you, Kuretake. Appreciate y'all for that. All right, now let's dive into what I bought from the folks at St. Louis Art Supply, because I went a little crazy, because I was stir crazy here at home, being sick. And so here is the box. Ta-da! Drum roll, please. Ooh, there they are, there they are. What I did was I went in and I bought individual pans and created my own palette. So let's take a look. Oh, and then I also wanted to get one of these. It's also by Kuretake, but it's a Fude pen. So this is a brush calligraphy pen. Let's see what it says here. Kuretake, made in Japan. Water-based pigment. So since it's a pigment ink, it is likely to be permanent once it's dry. And then it says it's refillable, which is awesome. So let's open this up. I'm always looking for a really good brush pen, right? And I saw this one on there and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give that one a try. And I know the Kuretake products are excellent. So, ooh. Now, you see this little ring right here? Usually there's a little white ring, or in this case, a yellow ring. So in order to start the ink flow, you have to take this off. You have to take the ring off. And then when I screw this back onto here, I'm going to be pushing down on that little area there. And that will allow the ink to flow. So let's see. I'm squeezing the barrel a little bit. Yep, the paint's starting to come down. Ah, there it is. Look at how beautiful and black that is. Oh, I'm so excited to play with that. Okay, you get a little more control when you're using black with your this kind of pen than when you're using it on a brush, I find. But that, ooh, that looks like a nice dark sumi type ink. So yes, anytime I do a painting session, I end up with paint all over me. It's typical. Okay, so let's look at some of these colors here. Look at that sky blue. Isn't it gorgeous? Now these look like they're wrapped where you just pop them out from the side. Oh, Horizon Blue. It's called Horizon Blue number 69. And this one is Raw Umber Deep. So I think it's important to have a good brown on hand. And this one has Venetian red in it as a deep brown. And then it has a yellow brown. And then like a Mars yellow, so which is a yellow oxide. So those are nice browns. But I wanted something that was a super deep earthy brown. And so that's the umber, this Raw Umber Deep. Ooh, look at that. This one is Cobalt Blue, Cobalt Violet. One of my favorite violet, I have to say. Thank you, St. Louis Art Supply, for offering these for individuals. Cadmium yellow, classic mixing yellow there. Let's see here. This one is Forest Green, a nice deep dark green. This one is Turquoise Blue, which it doesn't look like it here, does it? But once you get some water in there, that will be a turquoise blue. Here, Lilac. Oh, look at that lilac. It's just beautiful. Okay, so this is more of a true red. Rose Madder Deep. Let's see here. This one is a rose beige. So excellent for doing light skin tones. And then, this malachite. I don't even have to read it. I know what it is. I love that color. The malachite is just, yeah, love it, love it, love it. And then this is a good sap green, I believe it was, right? Yep, sap green. I wanted to have a good, just all-around landscape type sap green. And what we're going to do next is check this out. These are new. They're by Gansai Tambi. And what they're letting you do is it's a little set that lets you put 6 of these in them. So, of course, I had to get 2 of these. At first, I was only going to get 6 colors, and then I couldn't stand it, and I bought 2 of these, so I had to buy 12 colors, right? So here we go. Aren't these awesome? Look at this. Look at this. I could customize my own 6 here. Let's move the other one aside. But I want to put my blues in one here. This is the turquoise right here. Let's see. This is the one that, that's greens. So that's a green, that's a green, that's a green. This one was the one that says 139 that doesn't have the English color on it. I'll have to, once I discover what it is, I'll have to write it on there. Okay, so these kind of go together, right? I have to decide what goes where. Okay, this purple is going to end up going into here. So that's 4. And this one is, we don't know. Oh, must be the raw umber. And this, no, this is the raw umber. Okay, I'm going to leave this one over here so we can figure out what it is. Come on, y'all. These better fit in there. All right, so there's a custom set of 6 that I just created. Let's put these other ones in the other one, and then we'll do some swatching. Oh, these are so cool. Right here, your custom-made palette with 6 of your favorite colors. There we are. So this is the cadmium yellow. Let's do the... I need to look at what this color is. Let's find out what this color is right here. Oh, that was the purple. Okay. Okay, so this definitely does go over here, doesn't it? That was the cobalt violet. Okay, now I've got the cobalt violet where it belongs. And these are the greens right here. And then we've got the ecru, or the beige pink. We've got the rose madder, deep. And then let's put the yellow right there. Nice. Now, these paints tend to be, they're thicker than your regular watercolors, and they tend to not be as transparent. And that's because the ingredients are not just gum arabic in your color. There are also other ingredients in there that are used for making Japanese watercolors. But let's go ahead and swatch these. Now, this is super cheap Creatology watercolor paper from over at Michael's. All right, y'all. So you don't have to do anything too fancy when you're doing your swatching. This will work just perfectly for swatching. Let me put these off to the side just a little bit for you. And I'm using my favorite number 10 Princeton Velvet Touch watercolor brush. My absolute all-time favorite for everything. Actually, everything watercolor. Let's start with this light yellow. Let's see what we have here. We go in this direction. Wow. Yes. Thank you. That is gorgeous. That's a cadmium yellow. And then notice I have 2 waters. So I am dipping into the first one to get the color out and then getting clean water in the second one. Now I'm going to do the next lighter one here. Like this. Wow. Yeah, that's going to make amazing light skin tones right there. Let's do this other light one, which is the malachite. I would call that sort of a gem color. Wow. Yes, I'm in love. Love, love, love. I knew I was going to love the malachite. It's quite bright. It's not really a color that you would necessarily find in nature, but I don't care. I like doing I like doing wild and out of the box stuff. So let's do this one, which is the sap green. Beautiful. Wow. Yes. Nice, nice, nice mid-tone green there. And then this is going to be your turquoise. Is that turquoise? Nope, that's the forest green. Yeah. Okay. The forest green, y'all, Viridian. I would call that Viridian. So that is, or I call it a phthalo green. Here you go. Let me bring it up closer so you can see what I mean. That is, they call it forest green, but I'm going to call it closer to what you would think of as Viridian. All right. In terms of regular watercolors. And then here, oh, this red one, you can see it's like really sticky in the inside there. And interesting, interesting. See, sometimes the binder causes the paint to separate. Can you see that? Can you see the little dots there? So it just, and I could tell when I was adding water to it. Let me bring it up close and see if you can see it. But if I turn this a little bit like that, you might be able to see that there's a little bit of resistance there. And sometimes that ends up coming out on your paper as well, like that. And that's usually just when the paint is new. There's some of the binder has risen to the top. And as you use it, that effect usually goes away. Okay. Oh, beautiful set. Gorgeous. Loving it. And then Let's move this one out of the way and bring the next one in. Yes. Let's see what we have here. And I'm going to start from this end this time. So this was the cobalt blue. Nice. Oh, can you see that in the skies? I can. Now, these are the mass tones, meaning coming right out of the pan. But if you want to see the drawdown color, then you just add more water and pull it down like this. And then you can see what it looks like when you have lots of water in it. And in this case, like I had said, I feel like that would make a really pretty sky blue right there. Although this is called horizon blue. So let's take a look at the horizon blue. Very pale. Very pale. So the horizon blue is quite pale. And if I put lots of water in it, it's going to just be like a blush blue. So I could see when you are painting your far horizon, when you're doing a landscape type of painting, what you're going to find is you're going to have darker near the top of your painting. And then as you come down toward that horizon line, it actually gets lighter because generally that's where the light, the sun is coming from, is throwing up and reflecting off the land. And so you've got a lighter bit of land or a lighter bit of air right above the land. And so that's why they call this horizon blue, because I could see having the darker blue up toward the top of my landscape. And as I come down toward the land, I would use the horizon blue to delineate right there at the horizon line before painting the mountains or whatever the scenery is. All right, this is turquoise. Ooh. Okay, I love turquoise in all its forms. Let's see what we have here. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, let's add some extra water for you here. That is a very strong color, and it holds its color almost all the way down. Wow. Okay, beautiful. Very, very lovely. All right, let's look at the lilac. So soft and blushy. It's a lilac, so it's got that purple, pinky purple undertone. Wow. Against this paper, it almost looks pink. Almost, but you can see the purple in it. So I can see we're doing wisteria. Wisteria is a flower that is purple, but I can see in the areas where the light is hitting it that I could potentially use the lilac there as the highlights. All right, let's take this cobalt purple, where it didn't say on the back what it was, but I know that's what I ordered, cobalt purple. Get a little extra water on it here. Nice, nice, nice strong purple. There you go. You can see nice strong purple. Loving that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra water so we can see. Wow. Okay. Like the turquoise, that purple has a lot of tinting strength. Oh, yes. Because it didn't lose a lot by drawing it down there. And the last one, which is that umber. I like having a good dark umber in my set. So let's just put the umber over here. Yes, nice, 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 nice. That is a nice dark color. Make sure that's still in frame for you. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful brown. I could see that being like a grizzly bear or an old pine tree or something like that with that color brown to it. Nice deep umber. All right. Now I have in mind to paint a chicken. That'll be interesting with these colors. Let's see what we get with a chicken. For right now, I have a piece of just watercolor paper that I've been playing on. And let's just test out this beautiful brush. Nice. I could get thick lines. I can bring it And I could do thin lines. Perfect. Perfect. There's a lot of paint in here. I'm going to use this to sketch out a chicken, a duck, and a rooster over here. And then let's paint it with these beautiful colors. So let's start out. What would I do? I want to put the rooster. Let's put the rooster up here. My rooster is going to look like this. I'm going to start here. I have a reference picture that I've already painted. And then we're going to have the beak here. And his eye is right here. All right. We've got this, the coxcomb coming down like this. Move a little bit there. And there's the face. Oh, there's my beautiful rooster face. All right. And then on the rooster, the back comes down like this. And it's really beautiful. They have like these feathers that just fall down in a cascade that are so pretty. And then this is going to come here. We've got a nice chest here that's going to come out. We're going to have a leg here. I love using this kind of pen because you can stay loose. And I'm actually, instead of holding it like a pen, I'm holding it more like I would hold my Chinese brushes. So if I have an Asian brush, I hold it like this and paint like this. So that's, I'm using a modified grip here. So I'm holding it more like I would hold my Asian brushes. And then we'll do this. And there's actually a little webbing in here. And then let's just do this for the other leg. Oh. This other leg is back here. Like that. Okay. Oh, that's going to come like that. The thing about using a pen instead of a pencil is no erasing, y'all. No erasing. All right. Now the beautiful thing, he has an amazing swoosh of a feather back here. And then some smaller feathers like that. And then he has feathers that come up from down here like this. Oh, he's so cute. And then like this. All right, there's our rooster. And then actually right next to him, I'm going to put a chicken. Let's see what my chicken's going to look like. I like this chicken. His head is up like this. So yes, even though the male, the rooster, has a big comb here, the females also have a comb. And we're going to put her looking this direction. Maybe she's looking at her chicks running around. And then the females have a smaller little comb here. Do this. Let's put her eye in here. And then we'll just bring this. She is looking in this other direction here. And here, her legs are coming out. Yeah. Okay. They're both looking that way. Not sure what they're looking at, but there we go. And she is actually, her big feathers are off the back there. That's all right. And then she's got a wing there. We've got some hair coming in over here, or feathers rather. We've got, she comes up like this, and we've got another leg coming out here. In motion. This little lady is in motion. All right. So that was a quick sketch. Let's go ahead and put some color on here. Now, normally I would wait just a moment, and you can even, if you want to hurry along the dry time, you can use a heat tool like this. So I want to be sure that that ink is dry, because if the ink is not dry, what's going to happen is when you hit it with water, with these watercolors, it will begin to run, which is not a big deal because we are not going for realism right here, are we? We are not. Okay, why don't we try one of these Asian brushes instead of my favorite watercolor brush, just for the heck of it. Okay, there we go. So these are natural hair brushes. They hold lots of water in them. Oh my gosh, tons of water. And so often I will just tap it here on my towel to get some of that color off. Why don't we start with this? This guy is going to have lots of different colors, and I really like on the back end over here, let's take some of this malachite and come in here. We're going to deepen the color. We're going to start with the malachite. So assuming that the sun is on there, right? And then we'll come in and we'll add some of the darker color in a little bit there. I just wanted to do some of the light color first. Oh, because I just love this malachite. It is so beautiful. Let's do the same here. We'll just add some of the lighter color in here. This chicken, this lady over here, where do we want to go with her? Let's put a little bit of the brown, the ecru color right here. You see how my brush is a nice large size and it fits beautifully into these large pans. That's what they're designed for. Yes. Okay, let's put some of the lighter color up here. And then she's going to have some lighter color down here as well. Now, I don't have to empty the brush. I can just get a little bit of color on there. And yes, I am famous for double dipping. So now, instead of the new sets, let me go into the set that you will see all the colors I discuss on my article on my website. So let's dip into some of this yellow brown maybe. And you see how I'm just blending right in there? Not worrying about it. Because just like any watercolors, you can clean them up. Okay, let's do this where I've got her wing going there. And down here as well. And then I want to come in with some, this is really pretty, the flax beige. Oh, I'm getting messy. I'm getting very messy here, which is typical. And then let's bring, that's a little bit darker. I'm just giving a hint of what's going on here. I don't need to be too perfect. But that, you see what I love about this kind of pigment ink pen? Look at this. My chicken is not running all over the place. The colors are staying in place, and that makes me very happy. Okay, what else can we bring in there with her? Let's put just a little bit of this dark back in here to add some interest to her feathers. And then remember, this is the raw umber deep. And of course, it's going to be a little bit darker down in here, in this area. And we can give the impression of feathers by moving this. And of course, right underneath there. Okay. There she goes. That should be enough color for that part of her. I'm just dripping water everywhere. All right. Let's go back to him. He's going to be so much fun because he has so many brilliant colors in him. Let's take some of this turquoise because, believe it or not, these back feathers actually do look. They have a quite the turquoise look to them. So this turquoise is just a little bit darker. Drop in some of the darkness there. Yeah, there we are. Oh, nice. He's coming up nice. All right, let's get some of that color out of there before we dip in. Now, over here in the Art Nouveau set, which is the Kuretake set number 2, there's this beautiful color called grayish blue. Grayish blue. I like that a lot. Let's dip some of the grayish blue into here. And his feathers. Yeah, bring some of that in. I actually want to drop it in here too. It's okay to layer up your colors. What you're going to notice though is that these colors, they tend to granulate. So let me bring it up closely so that you can see the granulation that I'm talking about. So if you look here, do you see how that grayish blue is beginning to granulate in some of these other colors here? You can see little dots in there as the colors separate. So a lot of the colors that come with the Japanese watercolors, because the way that they're made, quite a few of the colors granulate. So it's helpful to be aware of that. Let's not get this too far up. I want to be sure you can see the yellow. All right, let's get rid of that color in here. And let's pop a little bit of yellow in there. See what happens when I come in with this stunning yellow. Sometimes I want a little more water on my brush. I'm just going to do something crazy and drop some yellow in there and see what that does to like highlight those colors and just let it blend right in. And then of course their beaks are yellow. Oop, I'm getting some green in there. Let's pick that up and clean the green off because I picked up some green over here. All right, hold on. Let's get just some yellow. There we go. So I can pull in the yellow on the beak right there, pull in the yellow on his beak right there. It can be helpful, even though, for instance, with this yellow, when you have it on the beak, it can be helpful to drop it in somewhere else on your painting as well. And that helps to add cohesion to your artwork. All right, let's do this. And I want to drop a little bit. I want the coxcomb to be kind of fiery. So let's drop a little bit of yellow in there, because then when we put the red in, it's going to make it kind of orangey, right? And then here, we just want only a tiny bit here, and I'm going to sort of add it over top of that other color. And that brings the yellow. I'm going to assume there's some sunlight on her back right here. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in there. Now, if it's too much yellow with your paper towel, you can dab some of that back off. Okay, just dab some of it up. And then that way it'll be a little more subtle. Okay. Now these are watercolors. So the fact that I put some yellow in here, if I needed to, I could come back in with a little bit of water. You see how that softened that? So I softened the yellow there by just coming back in with a little bit of water. Oh, I like what's going on over here. Let's see. We want to do something down below here, and I want a darker color. Probably we're talking let's get some, this is the cobalt blue, since we've got the grayish blue going here. Oh, that's a little too bright, isn't it? It's okay over here on the chest, but it is kind of bright. So let's pull in some of that. What was this one? Was the turquoise, wasn't it? All right, here we go. I love how roosters have so many different colors. They are so fun to play with. Let's bring some of the purple in. This cobalt violet. Yes. Okay, here we go. Adding a little bit of water to it so it'll flow. Yes. There we go. So now we're getting some variation there. And then right in here, because there's going to be, now what I'm doing is I'm popping the purple in order to give it some shadow, right? We want some shadow in there. And then of course we want shadow over here. So I'm going to drop some purple in this area in order to tie it together. Let's get some purple down in here. So we've got the purple together with that beautiful green. Yeah, now it's beginning to come together. And then let's just pull some of the purple up here. Because a lot of times what you'll find is roosters are, a lot of their hair is black. But when the sun glints off of it, you see these beautiful turquoise colors, the greens, all of that starts to come out when you see the light reflect off of them. Now, what I want to do is bring something down inside here. Okay, let's grab just a little bit of that brown, just a little bit. Again, dip it in water so it's not too dark. Yeah, I just want to add a little bit of a shadow in here. And that's a good color to do that with. Now, I don't want him to look like he's pooped himself, so let's lift some of that up to kind of lighten it a little bit. There. Now it looks shadow-like. And I'm going to go in with just a little bit more purple so it's more of a browny purple. There we go. Brown purple. Nice. Okay, cool. So now we've got the shadow area there. I need a little bit more shadow over here. And so let's bring in just a little bit more of that purple. Come on, purple. Yes. I have a lot of water on here, so I prefer to build up layers of color rather than go in with the dark colors first. That way I can be sure that I'm slowly building up my layers and I don't overdo it at one point or another. Let's see, what else might I like to have go in there? There's this beautiful color over here in the Art Nouveau set called Billiard Green. Billiard Green. So let's take that and see if we can use that to do just a little bit of additional highlighting in here. A little bit of additional color to tie that together. There we go. So that gave me a little bit of a darker green in there. All right, let's do the face. So we're going to get some red. Now, this is a rather large brush for doing big areas. Since I want to be a little more precise here in the face area, I'm going to use this Princeton watercolor brush that has much more of a tip. Can you see that tip? So that way when I pick up the red, oh, this red is so pretty. This is the Rose Madder. I'm going to use a combination of Rose Madder and the vermilion. So get a little bit of water so it'll flow. And then let's see what happens when we put it in here. I'm getting a little bit of that separation, which is fun. I showed you earlier. Oh yeah. So cute. Let's throw a little vermilion in here, which has a little more orange to it. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So believe it or not, often the chickens and the roosters will have red all around their eye there. Let's make it a little bit darker in the background there. Oh, he's looking like a cutie. Let me bring just a little bit more of this in here. All right. It's okay to leave white space. That's good. That's good. That's good. That shows the hand of the artist, doesn't it? All right, let's try her with the vermilion first. And bring this in. We're going to have to build it up a little bit. Let's put a little bit more of the Rose Madder in there. Oh, she's such a cutie. What are you two looking at? That's what I want to know. What are you two looking at? There we go. And last but not least is the legs. And the legs tend to be a kind of this ecru or saffron yellow. So let's start with the saffron yellow, which has a really interesting, almost greenish yellow look to it. It's definitely yellow though. And then we'll do this. There's a little bit of a web between their feet normally. Okay, she is moving. And then here. All right, let's bring them up close for you to see. There's the colorful rooster right there, and the chicken mama running around there. And that is using this set of Kuretake Gansai Tambi. This is the set number 2, which they call their Art Nouveau set. And then the custom set that I put together for myself here with the cadmium yellow and a nice series of colors here. And the umber deep and purples and beautiful additional blues. I hope you enjoyed that. And please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And I'll look forward to seeing you on another one of my videos. Please remember to subscribe.